Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kaylee and this video is going to be a November setup of my bullet journal. I'm working in a notebook therapy notebook and it is dotted pages and I'm just about to get started on my cover page. I haven't used watercolours in my journal for a little while. I actually did a little bit more in the setup of this journal, but I usually feel more confident and comfortable with either felt tips or pencil crayons, but I wanted to challenge myself and do something a little bit different, so I'm having to go with my watercolours here. I'm not a particularly good artist, but I enjoy the process and that's the main thing that matters. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be something that makes me happy and that I enjoyed doing. So I've got this watercolour set that I got off Amazon, it's only a cheap one. But I'm just going to paint a little bonfire scene. So I've mixed up this darker green shade because obviously it would be at night. I perhaps could have gone darker with all of this, but I didn't. And I know my paintings are pretty flat. I need to start working on adding shading and detail. But honestly, this was more of just a bit of me time, a bit of time to chill, switch off, do something creative. And this is the painting that I ended up creating. So I've cleaned out that little part of the palette where I mixed my green and I've now mixed a dark blue. I don't know what these paints are or the colours. I'll see if I can link the set in the description box below, but yeah, it was just this dark blue that I have mixed up and I'm using that for the sky, and I'm leaving the places where I want to use light colours later white so that the paint will show, because obviously with watercolours the lighter colours won't show on top of the darker ones. I haven't done a lot of watercolour painting at all, but I like to try new things. I'm always after a new creative outlet and this was actually really fun, so I really enjoyed it. I've left some little spaces for silhouettes of people as well, which I do go over in black, so I guess I didn't need to leave those, but it meant that the outline from my pencil drawing was there, and it just made it easier to put those in afterwards because I knew where they were supposed to go. I'm now moving on and just using one of the browns straight out of the pan to do the logs around the fire, and I did try and add a little bit more detail. It probably would have been better if I'd done this in layers because I could have let it dry and then added a bit more detail like I'm doing here, but I feel like I perhaps could have done that a little bit better. I could have waited a bit longer and it would have smudged less. And the last thing with the paints I'm going on to is the fire. So I just did the inner portion in yellow, and then the next bit was orange, and then the outside is going to be red. I've drawn this and just sketched it out in pencil first because I am not good at painting without some sort of guideline. And like I say, it's not perfect. I take my references from, I just Google images of the things I want to do and then I kind of copy them, adjust them to what I want them to be. So I found quite a few silhouette pictures of families watching bonfires, but I wanted it to be like myself, my husband, our two children. So I have an 8-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter. And most of them were either both boys or like both girls for the children, and the position of them wasn't what I wanted. So I just had to play around and looked at the shapes and how it looked where the hands were holding and things, just to give me a starting point. So as you can see here, I'm using a black fine liner to fill in the silhouettes of the people. I cannot draw faces and obviously they're facing away anyway, but I just thought it would be nice to have it just a solid black silhouette. I could have done this with paint, but I wasn't feeling confident enough that I would get the fine like details of the shapes and that it wouldn't bleed at all. So I decided to use the pen and I think that was the right decision, although it did take me quite a long time. This video is obviously very, very sped up, so this took me a little while to do. I've been really enjoying doing these cover pages. I bullet journaled years ago and then stopped, and then I started up again probably about a year ago. I think it was November last year when I started bullet journaling again, just in a really cheap binder style journal, and I've really enjoyed doing cover pages for my months, and that has stuck for a whole year now. So I think this is definitely the style that I enjoy doing. I tend to mix it up a bit. A lot of the colours that I've been using recently have been like neutrals. I love like the Crayola colours of the world and things like that. So this was quite a lot more colourful than a lot of my other spreads, but I really like the way it turned out. So let me know what you think. If you can hear rumbling or squeaking in the background, that's because I am sat in my living room with my guinea pigs right now, and they're very vocal at the moment. I'm not quite sure why, but they seem to be very chatty. So if you hear any rustling or noises, it's the guinea pigs. I'm now moving on to these silhouettes that are on the other side of the bonfire, and I've just drawn them sort of standing in groups. So it's like little groups of people or families just gathered around the bonfire. I wasn't sure whether or not I should outline the bonfire in black just to make it a bit clearer, but I still might change that. Let me know what you think. I'm not sure if it needs it or not. I used a gold gel pen to colour in the moon, and I did some gold dots for stars. I wrote the month, November, at the bottom. And now I'm just writing a little quote, and I decided to go with the Katy Perry song, which is my daughter's favourite, and just wrote some lyrics from Firework. My daughter is obsessed with Katy Perry. She loves Firework and Raw. They're like her go-to songs when she wants to dance around the living room. So I thought that would be nice, especially fitting for this time of year. I drew a bit of a sparkler at the bottom of that quote, and I'm not sure I love it, but it's there now, so it's going to stay. And now I'm just outlining, I'm drawing a box around the quote, and then I think I go on to draw a box around the image, but I don't know if I got that on my video. So there you go, they've both been outlined. The next page, and this is a new day because I didn't do all of this together. I did each of the double page spreads on different days because, you know, mum life. So I was quite impressed that there wasn't much bleeding through where I'd done the picture. If there had been, I would have stuck 2 pages together just to cover that. But it turned out okay. So whilst it's a bit crinkled, it works well for this page. This is what I like to call my hub. This is where sort of the main things of the month go. This is where my tracker goes. It's where my calendar layout goes, so I can see what day is on which date is on which day. And it's where my plans can go in if I haven't done my weeklies yet. So down the side on the left, I've got the days 1 to 30, the numbers 1 to 30. Oh, I can't get my words out. The numbers 1 to 30 with just alternate lines coloured in so that I can write down any future plans that I need to know about. And then the, what do you call it, like the table layout, that just shows me which date is on which day of the week. And I like to cross those off as I've used my journal. So if I use my journal that day, I draw a little line through that box. And so far, October's, I've got a line for every single box. So I'm proud of myself for that. I decided to do a little illustration on the bottom of this page, and it's just 2 children with sparklers because I have 2 children who love sparklers. So on the right hand side, this is going to be my habit tracker, and it's really simple. Everything goes on one little grid, and I do the numbers 1 to 12 up the left hand side, and then across the bottom I do one number for each day of the month, so 1 to 30 in this case. I then use a different coloured line to plot on my steps, my sleep and my mood. And I love the way this looks once I've done it. I think later on I might show a little clip of what last month's looks like just so you can see. I'm using my felt tips. I think these are Crayola pastels, I'm not sure, to colour in the children. This page is quite pale, and I'm not sure whether it needs something a little bit more, whether it would have looked better with some like dark paper in the background. However, sometimes it's good to keep things simple, and then the focus is the writing that goes on the page and the things that you need to track. But this is the finished page, really, really simple, really quick. Can't be doing with filling out loads of trackers. This is what it will look like when it's finished. This is October's, and you can see there's a different colour for each thing, and I plot them on like this. So steps 1 is obviously 1,000, sleep 1 is obviously an hour, and mood I just do out of 10. The last spread that I'm going to share with you today is my first weekly setup of November. Now, the first bit of November is in Autumn's monthly section because the last days in the month, the first days in the months, the first days in the week, why can't I speak, started in October. So basically it stays in that one. And this starts from the 6th, I believe. I'm not sure. You'll see in a minute when I write it on. So I've done a little calendar on the top left. I just like to have them so I can see. I don't know, I find that it helps me visualize my week. And then I have done 6 columns for my days of the week. I forgot which pens were which, so I'm just testing them again to figure that out. And the final column is split into 2 for Saturday and Sunday because I have less things that I need to remember usually on those days. So I've just coloured in the top banner part where I'm going to put the day of the week in a pale green. And I'm sticking some poppy stickers on for decoration. No drawing on this page, nice and simple. So I've just trimmed those down so that they make a composition that I like. I'm doing poppies because it is Remembrance Day in this week that I'm setting up. And yeah, there you can see it does start on the 6th and Remembrance Day is the 11th. So I just thought it would be nice to do a little nod to that. Yes, we started with a firework theme. I actually did sketch out a hand holding a sparkler here, but then I changed my mind once I realised actually that it was Remembrance Day on this week. And I remembered I had these stickers and some washi tape that I thought would look really, really cute. So I'm going to put some of this washi tape along the top and bottom of the page. On the left-hand side, I've got the green alternate lines coloured, and that's just going to be a to-do list. Colouring alternate lines just helps me to sort of see where the lines are. I think it adds a bit more to the page. And then along the bottom, I've just got space for notes because I've been quite enjoying doing just like a little debrief of what went well in the week, what didn't, what I need to remember for next week. I've just been enjoying having more space for notes over the past couple of weeks in my journal. So I decided to add that in as well. The top bit of washi tape I didn't leave enough space for, so I've just trimmed it along the top and the bottom to try and get the main bit of the flowers and the detail on the actual page. And then I've just stuck another red flower on the 11th, which is Remembrance Day. It's not a poppy, I ran out of poppies, but I just thought that that would be quite sweet. So that's the finished spread, and I feel like that was a quick video this week. Here is a little flip through. There is my cover page and quote page. The next page is my hub. It looks rubbish and it looks bare now. However, I promise you by the end of the month when that habit tracker's filled in, it looks so much better. Just zoomed in a little bit there so you can see the alternate lines coloured because it is a very, very pale blue. I could have gone a bit darker maybe. But once the timetable, the table view of the month and the habit tracker is filled in, this page will look a lot busier. Here is my first weekly spread, and honestly I don't know what my next weekly spread will look like because this theme seems a little disjointed now, but that's okay. Maybe we'll just go for more autumnal vibes again, maybe we'll go back to bonfire, or maybe flowers. I will see what mood takes me when the time comes. Thank you so much for watching this video. I've really enjoyed filming it for you, and let me know if you want to see more of these. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon. Bye!